Welcome to the pre-ride of the 2021 Eeklo Cross, the somethingth round of the Ethias Cross. This is my first time racing this venue. It's normally set earlier on the calendar, and instead of being dry and dusty, this pre-ride is dry, but it was ice ruts, ice ruts, ice ruts, just in time for it to be sunny and warm and thaw out for us come race time and be really slippery. But that tractor was not there. This is the first left-hand turn off of the start straight, and first left-hand turn that inevitably led to crashes once the frozen, hard-packed file tread ground became slippery and muddy. So left-hand turn, and then our pit one is coming up immediately on the right, and I'm going to go into the pit because just like our Zufi there, I have decided I needed different tires. And popping out of the pit, world's fastest bike exchange. You're so impressed. Right-hand turn, and so that like weird little line there for the TVs, they always dig these little trenches to run wires through. And today I feel bad for who had to dig the trenches. They probably had an ice pick and they left like, I don't know, just like huge gouges on the ground that were really rough and annoying to contend with. So, you know, we had those to battle with. And this left-hand turn was really slick in the race, but now, like, we're on file treads with high pressures, file treads to increase your contact patch, high pressure, because there were freaking ice ruts. Like, you're riding around and you're like, oh, this is just some grass. And all of a sudden you bottom out because somebody rode when it was a little bit wet and made an indent, also known as a rut. And now left-hand turns here. A lot of flat turns. It's, I don't know, sort of a typical American cyclocross course in that regard of flat turns. And then you get to this hillside because, again, we are in Belgium and we need some up-de-doos. So here's a shallow up-de-doo that gives you false confidence. Like, look, here's an up-de-doo. Here's a really icy corner. Oh, God, and then this thing's real steep. Am I going to make it? I did, but just barely, and now I have to go back down into another icy corner. This corner was so slow. This one did remain icy, and for some reason I could not climb this one. Like, was it steeper? Was it icier at the bottom? I don't know why I couldn't climb this one. So I ran, hopped back on, and quick descent with a straight run out. Gotta love those straight run outs because it makes me feel super fast. Don't worry, lady, just trying to pre-ride here. Another left-hand turn, another right-hand turn. Had to watch out for those turns in the slippery conditions because, again, it was real slippery and there are a lot of posts there. And I got too close to the fencing and it ate my bicycle at one point, and I lost an entire spot in the bicycle race because the fence ate my bicycle. Man, it's the things you wouldn't think you have to worry about that you have to worry about the most. So right-hand turn here, and this, I mean, I don't know, it's just a turn. Like, I have nothing really exciting to say about this flat part of the course. It was a lot more exciting in the race because there was a thawed line that was really muddy, and you were like, oh, is it faster to ride in the wet stuff or in like the frozen stuff or the grass? And so that actually made it, I don't know, exciting on an intellectual level. I wouldn't know what the front of the race was doing because I was pretty far back. So turn into the barriers here. Always fun to dismount on frozen ground when going over barriers because obviously frozen ground, you're going pretty fast. The ground is hard. Am I going to slide? Am I not going to slide? Fun stories with sliding coming up. But first we have to get through this very, again, American style grass crit with all of the turns. A little straightaway section, and you think you're able to put some power down, but don't worry, it's going to be a really slippery turn. But don't worry, there's some snow fencing and a post to catch you, or you could just eject yourself into pit 2. Yes, we're already at pit 2, so this should tell you either this is a very, very, very poorly laid out course, or it's a short lap. I actually haven't done the math, so it might be both, question mark? It definitely felt like a short lap. Maybe it got a little bit longer when it was a little bit more slippery, but the pre-ride laps, I was astonished with how short it was. I actually got like 3.5 laps in, I think, question mark. So we're just continuing here. It's straight. It's pretty boring. Again, American style, but something is about to happen. Right-hand turn, and oh, it's a little baby up-de-doo. Oh, and then, oh, it's so slippery. Oh, another up-de-doo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This one's a little bit off camber and rutted, and so turning at the bottom here on ice, and Oh, maybe my tire didn't slip out that time, or maybe it did. So down in the bottom there, it stayed shadowy, so it was pretty icy. And on that corner in particular, I kept losing one of my tires or one of my wheels just sliding out, and I'm not quite sure why. So here I'm going to give it another go and see if I can keep both tires in the traction scenario. Plunging down, pick a rut, try to keep it wide, and didn't lose my tires, but went in slower, harder to pedal up the up-de-doo, but that's okay. It's a short up-de-doo, going down the downy-doo. And now, hopping over, little transition. We're going, when we were describing the course in the van, we called this like the park area, ? Don't know what it is. Here's another strange up-de-doo. The up is fine, the down is fine, but again, it's shadowy here, and this stayed it was frozen icy ground, so the turn was slick, and then you have to climb up this steep thing, go back down, and again, it's really icy, but then it's also like kind of muddy, and then we got some secret sniper things going on here, like there was a square curb there that you could hit. I mean, you could if you were an idiot. Left-hand turn, and the course goes a lot wider, but there was just like a small little ledge, and you're already turning, so you could just, I don't know, I feel like it could have taken my tire out quite easily. That's not how I would have taken that turn if there weren't that concrete lip. So here's some, it's like, I don't know, a pump track for idiots? I don't know what that was. A right-hand turn onto some pavement. If you miss the turn, you go into that gutter. And that gutter is full of what I'm guessing is cold water, and I think that guy with that camera was just waiting for somebody to take a swim all day. And I don't think anybody did. Transition over this little walkway, and we're pumping up and up-de-doo. And hey, Lucinda, what's up? You know what? I could show you how this goes, but maybe you should just go anyways. Okay, yeah, you go, girl. Go, Lucinda. Now here I go to show Lucinda how it's actually done. Down a downy-doo, around the turn, and here's an up-de-doo. Oh, I almost made it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
okay, guys,
I'm stuck.
Under control. Everything's fine. Ugh. See? Nailed it.
So, the side of the little up-de-doo there was constantly in the shade, so it was just so icy, and I did not have my pointy spikes in. Oh, no, yeah, you should definitely go. You should go. Yeah, you should go too, Ava. Like, I got this on lock. You guys go ahead, practice. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, in fairness, I did make this once or twice. Okay, this is terrifying, going down the downy-doo when you're like not even all the way up. I think I made that once or twice, but I also botched it a lot more. And this was rideable for the race, but somebody had straight taken out one of those wooden stakes and they were replacing it. So I decided to not try and then risk impaling myself on the broken stake, because if you match with me on Hinge, you will find out that one of my irrational fears is impalement. And it turns out it's a very rational fear, guys. Very rational. Okay, so this is actually, disclaimer, my second lap, and so now I know the sand is coming, but there's sand coming. And if you don't know that there's sand coming, it is very surprising and very not good. And I think there was some sort of a rock or a ledge of some sort in which I stroked. I hit my pedal, and it ruined my entire race, because then I was too afraid of the sand. I couldn't pedal through. I looked like an idiot. I felt like I needed to yell to the cameraman, I know how to do this. It was just scary once. So we go off camber, up that up-de-doo, and then left-hand turn, and try not to make contact with those barriers, which was really hard for me for some reason. I'd see the line these other chicks were taking, and I'd be like, that's a great line. I'm gonna not take that line, ever. Like that time, I'm not even in the riding line. I'm riding on that bumpy ass shit. Like, why? I don't know. The actual ride line was full of little rocks, so I decided big frozen foothold better than small rocks? I don't know. Okay, in fairness, this thing was rideable, but I had my different tires on, and my tires had a different cassette, a very small cassette. I only had a 30 in the back, and I was real apathetic, so I did not make it that time. But it was rideable even when it was more slick. Another turn on slick stuff, and this is the last pedaling section before the start-finish straight. And now we're going to dismount and climb this icy wall. And again, because it's icy, the ground is so hard, and it stayed in shadow, so it was never like soft enough to get a nice foothold. So it's just one of those there's only so much speed that you can have running up this, because you have to make sure you have a foothold before you go to take the next foot, or else you're gonna, like, I don't know, fall and scrape your knee, and nobody wants a scraped knee. Nobody. Not even us professionals. We don't like scraping our knees. We've got to wear dresses sometimes and look real pretty. So this right-hand turn and then a quick left-hand turn, and we're going through the start grid. It's really easy to find the start when you got a start grid, fellers. And anyways, this is the start-finish straight. We've already been here. It's real, checking the time, and like, oh, I think I can do another lap. Laps are so short. And that's the finish line. And yeah, so that's the lap. I hope you enjoyed it. I ended up 17th on the day. Definitely not where I wanted to be, but that's kind of how the season's going. But I'm feeling optimistic. Another race tomorrow. Join me again for the University Brussels race course. Okay, bye.